All right, let's go live because we got raided. I was still getting a little set up here, but that'll be okay. Hello and welcome. My name is Pat Baer. This is the Build With Baer Workshop. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 Lua emote in chat, and we're immediately dropping frames as well, which is everything is excellent. There are no issues and nothing is bad. Nothing could be bad. Nothing is wrong. It could be bad. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 Blue emote in chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, hello and welcome. If you came in on the Bad Gunpla raid, thank you very much. Welcome, welcome. If you came in from Jason's stream, hello. Oh, I'm dropping even more frames. This is fantastic. You know, we went like 4 streams without any frame drops. Like minimal, like a couple. Saturday was good, Monday and Tuesday. So 3 streams. We had 3 streams with no frame drops where everything was pretty great. And now things are bad. And I, unfortunately, can't do anything about that. We're not 100% sure here. Is it my internet connection? Is it Twitch? Is it my router? Is it the Wi-Fi booster that I use? I don't know. It could be any of those things. But unfortunately, yeah, I just have a bad internet connection and we got raided. It's a real bummer. If you want to hit the follow button, sometimes I will build model kits and it won't have bad internet. Okay, it looks like we're okay now. And of course, if you're watching this later on the VOD on YouTube, you don't see any of this because you got the local version, so you don't have any problems. It's really annoying. Also, I'm getting weird. I'm also getting weird noise in my headphones. It's technology. John says, I'll say he mostly has good internet when he builds model kits. Yes, mostly good. Maybe we'll be done. Maybe that's going to be it. And we, let's knock on wood here. That'll be it. And now it'll be smooth sailing into the Calibarn. The Calibarn is the kit we're going to be building. We do need to get a little bit of business done out of the way before we get into model kit building because we just really started the stream. And that's to remind you that for the month of November, there is a promotion going on that I am taking part in. Everest fan, Pat Bear, mostly good. Yeah, mostly good. Yeah, I'm getting weird feedback from my headphone, and it's most likely the cable, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to unplug I'm going to take off my headphones because I'm getting a weird feedback noise that I don't like. So it should be fine. My speakers and the mic should be far enough away from each other that we shouldn't have any problem if people hit buttons that will signal noise. We should be all right. John says, I did the CR thing, worked great, enjoying 57 more days of anime free. That's right. So there's a promotion going on. You can see that there in the chat there. Let me just touch that. There we go. Great. That you can get the Mega Fan premium level for Crunchyroll for 60 days if you gifted 2 subs in a chat right now. Or if you subscribed here and you subscribe to another streamer that is participating in this promotion. And the link includes a list of all of the streamers that are doing it. So you could just drop a random sub to somebody. Or you could do it here, 2 free gifted subs, easiest way to do that. We are trying to get to 50 subscribers. That is the goal. I shut up at 50. So the hope is that we can get to 50. If we don't, it's okay. But that's always the goal, is to get there. Yeah, and you get a 63-day trial. And then part of that will be a thing we'll talk about here. You'll have access to the Crunchyroll Game Vault, which we'll chat about once we get started with the model kit building, which I don't have access to because I am at the low tier on Crunchyroll because I don't need to have multiple streams running, and it's not worth it to me, and I don't need to save stuff on my phone or my iPad. Lord Crashing just subscribed at tier 1. That's 52 months saying, hey, Pat, keep up the great work. Thank you very much. Lord Crashington, appreciate that very much. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave Lego site, tier 2 Blue emote in the chat. We're going to hit not the dance button, I hit the wrong button. We're going to hit the sub button, the subscribe button, clap. Thank you very much. All right, My speakers are not being picked up on the microphone. That's great. It looks like we're okay. I enjoy wearing headphones because I hear myself less. Because fun fact, I'm not in the. I'm not. My mic isn't in my headphones when I stream. Oh, also, thank you, Ghostfell, for using the yeah points. Yeah. Yeah. Ghost Valve also used gift cards to USA Gundam Store. Bought some gift cards to USA Gundam Store for me. And so I have a kit in the mail probably tomorrow, it seems like, because they packaged it today. Hopefully in the mail tomorrow, coming from Florida, with a cool model kit. I'm very excited about that. Anyway, let's go to the overhead and let's work on a model kit because we got a bunch of folks here. So let me line this up. I don't know how that got all weird. Got all fucked. We are starting with the top of the kit and working our way down. That is how we're doing this model kit here, the Calibarn. We're going to start with the head, which is good because, you know, tinier pieces on the head. Good to do that at the beginning of the stream. Could always do it at the end of the stream, but, you know, it's good to start off at the beginning. And yeah, FYI, I redeemed the dance button a few minutes ago. You did, Lord Crashington. I missed that. Thank you for reminding me. We always start with the head. We don't. Most kids don't. I do appreciate that, though. But yes, let me hit the dance button. I can't hear it as well because I don't have my headphones in. But I'm going to have to figure out why I might need to replace the cable for my headphones, which will be frustrating if it's the headphone part. If it's the extender that I use, that's fine. That won't be a big deal at all. But if I have to, if I need to get new headphones, that's going to be really annoying. I think because I have these headphones, and then I have a crappy pair of headphones, and then I have Bluetooth headphones, and I could probably get that to work without it being a problem. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't, but I could figure that out. As I said, that would not be like a huge problem. So we are starting with this kit, Calibarn. This is the only Gundam from Witch from Mercury that we have yet to build. So I am looking forward to working on this. I've wanted to do this with its cool gun that also looks like a witch's broom, which is just fun. I mentioned before, a bit of news that might interest some of y'all is that Crunchyroll is introducing their Game Vault, which includes a bunch of different games for Mega and Ultimate level subscribers. They just have access to, let's say included, not free. Mjaan, I have built Suletta, but I have not built Mjorne. Mjorne is on my Amazon wish list. Suletta is back here. You can probably see Suletta better on this frame. Suletta is over there in the corner of my set, next to the Heavy Arms custom. Our Heavy Arms. There is Suletta. So I have built Suletta. I have not built Mjorne, which I would certainly be interested in. She is on my wish list. So I would, my Amazon wish list to say. So at some point, I would like to build her. All right, let's get more of this head done here. I need B1, and then I need A11. So we'll do that. So yeah, you remember the higher end memberships, you get a bunch of mobile games on iOS. Right now it's on Android. It apparently, it's on Android now and iOS soon. So if you have an Apple device, it's not available quite yet, but it is available if you have Android. So do I think that a bunch of games that are already on mobile for various prices, is it worth upgrading your subscription to the Mega or Ultimate? No, I don't necessarily think that. If you already pay that money, you might as well play River City Girls. You might as well already do that. Behind the Frame, I've heard good things about. I haven't played that one, but yeah. Right now, it does not appear that any of these games are anime games from licenses that Crunchyroll has. River City Girls certainly has a bit. It's a River City Ransom style game, obviously. It does have a bit of a anime vibe to it, a little bit. But looking at this list of games, none of these games are anime games. Uh, and apparently it's out of the Crunchyroll app. You can access it in the app, and then it'll get to, I assume, downloading through the app. But kind of neat. But yeah, none of the games that they have there, which I think is funny. Let's see. I got a bunch of news and such to chat with you all about. Do I have a favorite anime game? I think the Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon, the fighting game, the Sailor Moon fighting game is excellent. That is probably my favorite anime game. I'm trying to think if there's another one that really speaks to me. Because it's a fun fighting game, and also it's got Sailor Moon characters. That is a good one, right? What's actually pretty good for the Dreamcast? I ended up playing a cracked version of it because they did not have an English release. There is a Dreamcast Love Hina game. It is a Love Hina dating game based on the anime, and it's pretty goddamn faithful to the anime. It's a competent version of that series that I remember enjoying pretty highly. I thought it was a pretty good version. All right, so why is this being why are you? Let me just make sure that is A11. It's the only green piece on here. So that goes like that. That goes like that. And then this has to go somewhere. And I'm not. These are the eyes. So where do you want to be, eyes? You don't want to be near there. I got the chin and I got the eyes. And then this is going to be... Okay, it goes like that. There it goes. This head is layered in ways that feel weird. There we go. That piece connected in a way that I was very surprised about. And then it fell out because you can't just do that. You got to rest. Okay. Yeah, that went in an odd way for me. Now we have stickers. We've got a rear sticker we're going to put on here first just to get warmed up on there. And then we have a choice. Hello, Vicky. Welcome. I remember importing Love Hina for the GBA and using an online guide to try to play. Yeah, I mean, so a dating game is, like an otome game, is going to be a tough sell to, go through guides because it's so much text that I remember for the Dreamcast that I had a cracked version of it that was a fan translation. The Astro Boy GBA game was pretty great. Yeah, Lord Christian, that's a good that's a good shout. I wish that I, off the top of my head, could just rattle off like 6 or 7 ones that really, stood out to me as far as anime games. Oh, there was, let's see. There's a Yu Yu Hakusho game. I don't remember it being great. Dragon Ball FighterZ is a great fighting game. There you go. There's a great anime game. Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's a fucking fantastic game. So, we have a choice to make, friends. Are we going to put green eyes onto green plastic, or are we going to do these pink eyes? I'm thinking pink eyes. Now, look, we can look at this kit here. We can look at how we can enlarge the photo. That's how it looks with the green eyes, which I think are neat. Totally fine. But what if those eyes were pink? I think it's not too close to the head there. I think that could look real rad. I did the Yu Yu Hakusho GBA turn-based RPG. Okay. Yeah, I've not played that one. I think we're going to go with pink. I think pink is going to look good. Let's go with the pink. And if we fuck up, we'll go with the green. The rainbow, yes, the V-fin here being rainbow colored is amazing because the Calibarn is, of course, a amalgamation of a bunch of stuff, and so it feels like the kit that is a lot of parts of various uh, mobile suits coming together. It's got a good vibes to it, a good color scheme. You know, the final Gundam. It's got the final Gundam feel to it. You know what was? Oh, I was trying to think about. I had it in my head another anime video game that was really good, and it has escaped my brain. It was in there for like a second. I was like, oh, you know what's good, and then I got distracted, and I don't remember what I was going to say there. But I don't know. But there have been a few, good games based on anime. The Berserk game for the Dreamcast was set in the manga universe, so it was like the very beginning of Berserk, which is because Berserk itself, 97 Berserk is a flashback to remembering, and then there's the present day within the Berserk universe, and the video game is that, and that game wasn't good, but it was good. If you catch my feelings on that. Like it was a strong video game. It was confusing as hell because I was not clear what was going on, but I remember really enjoying that Dreamcast game. Watching My Hero Academia, I'd like to see an open world game set in that world. I mean, if you're saying that there should be a Spider-Man game with Deku, in an open world, I would agree. I mean, just like walking around with heroes and like on missions like that, yeah, there could be something great there. But yeah, if you're just like traversing Deku style, I could get behind that too. All right, let's get D1 out here. Still working on the head. Okay, I guess there's not much to say about this, but we should at least acknowledge it. There's going to be a live-action Legend of Zelda movie, apparently. Yeah, it's like, sure, you know what? Sure. They're going to make a live-action Legends of Zelda. There's not much to say about this. It's of all of the Nintendo games that they, properties they own, that it makes the most sense to me. Fantasy World, Hero's Journey, intrigue. You can just tell a Legend of Zelda story. You don't have to tell multiples. You can be the Link that is putting the pieces together, that is trying to understand what's happened in the past, and there are remnants of, like, you can go really big or you can go really small and just tell like an adventure. This can just be any Link. I think if they're going to do a live action of something that they've licensed, obviously it would be Zelda, right? Like, if you're telling me what should be the next cartoon that they do, if you're telling me, Pat, we've chosen you to decide which Nintendo property should we make an animated feature film about, then I would say, you should probably make something with Kirby, because Kirby fucking rules, and people would be psyched about something with Kirby. But if you're going to make if you're like, oh, we're doing a live action next, I'd be like, all right. I mean, then yeah, you should probably fucking make it about Legend of Zelda. That seems right. That seems like the proper choice. Why is this head coming together? Oh, okay, there we go. All right. I'm telling you, this head is twisty and it's giving me some issues here, but we're getting there. We're getting all together. Should Kirby talk? Kirby should emote. Kirby does not need to talk. Donkey Kong. Bring back the Kirby animated anime show. Yeah, I mean, Kirby could have an animated film, an animated series. Look, I would love a. You know what you should do is inspired, in part or fully. What? Come on. All right, I'm starting to think I assembled this incorrectly because it's just not like layering right. I think I probably did something weird here. So we're gonna try to pop this apart. Because I think I put yeah, I think I put together this kit incorrectly. Because it's giving me a lot of problems and I'm kind of having to force it, and that should not be the case with a 2023 mobile suit, or wing, not wing, G-Witch kit, because they're pretty damn solid. I think I put this on just wrong. Yeah, I think I put this on wrong and it's causing problems. So let's see if I can. We're just going to go back to basics here. We're going to start back from the beginning of this build and see if I'm just doing stuff wrong, because I think I am. Yeah, Kirby makes noise, but Kirby doesn't like have a conversation. That's for Meta Knight. Meta Knight will do all the Meta Knight does the monologues. Kirby emotes with some sounds, but Kirby doesn't Kirby doesn't have a catchphrase. Kirby doesn't need a catchphrase. Also, if you're going to do an animated show, I would like a series where Wario is running a video game studio and makes a bunch of garbage games and then gets sucked into the games and has to win the weird WarioWare games that he has paid people to create. And he has to complete those games in order to get out of that world. There's my pitch for a WarioWare game. And he has abilities. He's got Wario abilities. Okay, yeah. So I think I just put this. I think I just started completely wrong. Why am I having an ad break? Oh, because I didn't do a pre-roll. That's why. Okay, well, in a couple minutes, friends, there'll be an ad break rolling in because I didn't run an ad break before the stream kicked off because we got raided. That's why. Oh, that makes sense. I really got to separate this piece. Each episode is only 3 minutes. Yeah, I mean, you do the 11-minute thing, anime style. I can't separate this piece, so I'm going to go and just hope that I did it right. Okay, so that is supposed to look like that. Okay, so this looks like I did do it right. And then this has to go in. This connects to this. That. Then this connects to this, like that. And then that goes in here. Anyway, they're going to make a live action movie. I don't know. Maybe it'll be great. Maybe it will be terrible. We'll find out soon-ish at some point. Yeah, why is this? Sorry, everybody. I'm really struggling with this. I guess that's not supposed to be there. Is this wrong? Yeah, I mean, I've assembled this how it's supposed to look. And then is this supposed to? The eyes, yeah, it should go. Okay, I got one part connected. How can I get the other part connected now that I've got that done? Okay. I don't know why that was so troublesome, but it was. I haven't run into an issue assembling one of these in a while. Yeah, that was the most trouble I've had building a kit from Witch for Mercury. They're very straightforward, I would say. But this one, yeah, this one gave me a little bit of trouble there, and I was not prepared for that. So that's interesting. Let's see. Other things we can talk about tonight. Um, Quick shout out to Aftermath. Aftermath.site is a new Patreon supported venture. Some games journalism, worker owned, reader supported. We are currently, an ad is probably going to be happening very soon. So, we'll come back to it. But this is something I'm sure people know about, but I at least wanted to have this up for discussion here a little bit. Bring it up for discussion. This is Nathan Grayson, Gita Jackson, Riley McLeod, and Luke Plunkett, I should say. And they are working together on this project. It is people that you may know from Motherboard and Launcher, which was a Washington Post game coverage, and The Verge. And they're joining forces to do something new, to do new project. Okay, I'm running a 30-second ad break. My apologies for those that had to hear me talk about that. And for some people are watching an ad break right now. But yeah, basically you can subscribe. I guess they aren't a Patreon. I'm sorry, they're not a Patreon. They are not Patreon funded. I should have clarified that when I said Patreon. I meant just their user supported, which is cool. And then welcome back, folks that had to see ads. My apologies for those that had to see ads. Basically, there are going to be some articles that are for a time delay or just in general are behind a paywall. And I don't have a problem with that. I look forward to them, trying to make this work, and good luck to them. I know some people have kind of, they haven't pushed back, but they are skeptical because to them, it's already too much. The subscription model is already too much, right? Like, I myself support, and I have no money, but I still choose to spend the money I do have to support some podcasts that I like, and a few people that have gone out on their own, either small groups or otherwise. I've chosen to financially support where I can, with very small amounts of people, and it's a lot. It's just a lot out there to be spending that kind of money, and every streaming service is going up in price, and it's quite difficult to kind of pick and choose those things. But on the other hand, if you are going to listen to one of their podcasts, you don't have to hear ads, and I think that is. To me, that is a big deal. That to me always feels like a big deal. Not only like the idea of like, oh, I'm choosing to support them, just selfishly, just like very selfishly. If you just don't want to hear ads, it is a way to avoid hearing those ads. All right, D121 is this piece, and there's a sticker that I can add to it. Why does that just not look right though? Well, whatever, we'll find out. So what's going to happen is I'm going to put a sticker on this piece here, and then there is a cap that will go on top of it, and then there's a cap that goes on top, E7, so we'll have to put E7 on. E7 is a clear piece, so we are going to be putting the sticker underneath the clear piece, and then if we wanted to, we could use a clear V-fin instead of this gorgeous V-fin. And the same way that we could use, instead of this incredibly cool holographic-ish style chest piece, we could just use a clear piece. Now, I don't know why I would do that, but I can. Also, it does benefit because in case something fucks up, in case something just breaks or I fucked something up, It is nice to have backups, especially for a VFin. That is nice to have. But pretty obviously, we are going to go with the one that looks the raddest. And then we will snip off the ends here. Make this look cool as hell. Like, we got to go with this. So yeah, they got different tiers. They got a Discord server, whole bunch of stuff. They're going to do a bunch of tech news. It's cool. I'm happy for them. Good on you. You may remember over the weekend, we talked about the NWA and how they were coming to terms with a deal to do a reality show for the owner of the NWA, Billy Corgan. And along with that deal, there was deals for the idea that, you know, maybe on television, but possibly just on the CW app, they were going to show NWA wrestling. NWA was finding a big home. Well, that seems to be maybe not, probably not going to happen the way that at least they had thought that was going to happen, or they wanted that to happen. Because the CW network is about to become, or next year, will become the new home of WWE NXT. That is NXT, their developmental brand, the third brand, will become the home of, will be going to the CW. As far as I can tell, you can watch, I'll probably watch them later. I can't figure out a way to live stream the CW without, having Hulu. My cable subscription does not include a way to just stream it from their website, which is frustrating as someone that is my preferred method of watching things. All right, so this is going to go. This is going to go. It's a real weird thing where I just okay, so that's the face here. That's going to go on like that. I'm just kind of test fitting here because I am certainly running into a few pieces of confusion. All right, and then this piece is going to go on here, the top, but I have to put a sticker there. But before that goes on there, this piece needs to go on here. There it is. There, that looks good. Now we'll add the sticker. Now we have options of stickers. We can do the one with the Technicolor wonderfulness or just the plain black. And I don't know in what world I would go with the black when I can do the cool Technicolor version. So we, of course, will do that. Place that on here. But yeah, sometime next year, NXT will be leaving USA and will be an exclusive on the CW. And it, once again, definitely seems to fuck over Billy Corgan, which is hilarious because fuck Billy Corgan. It's very funny. It's very funny and great that is happening. All right. And now we're done with the head. We have now completed the head here. It is time to panel line the head, and then we can move on to do other parts of the kit, moving down to the chest, of course. But we will be using gray, our gray marker. Let's see, other things. And maybe some wrestling news. I'm fucking mad about this shit. I'm gonna say that. A snorted the CW deal up like cocaine. Indeed. So I will say this. Wrestling wise, in content of professional wrestling, the matches that happened last night on AW Dynamite, top tier. One of the best Dynamites in a long time. Bell to bell, minute to minute, excellent action from all the wrestlers. From MJF versus Daniel Garcia, which tore the house down, what a way to start the night. Jay White and Mark Briscoe in the main event. Hell yeah. So fucking great. Red Velvet versus Julia Hart, a grudge match. Nice to see Red Velvet back. Pursued a storyline that has nothing to do with a belt. The TBS champion arrived to TBS. It's wild because she's usually on TNT. Penta and Swerve Strickland was fucking rad. Sting and Darby versus the Outrunners was a squash because of course it was a fucking squash. How could it not be? And Keith Lee versus Samoa Joe was really good. There were moments where I believed Samoa Joe, the longest world record setting, record breaking, longest Ring of Honor TV champion of all time, longest ever, defended against Keith Lee. Keith Lee looking real good in that match, real competitive. Some good big boy action. Keith Lee gets choked out, passes out, does not tap. He passes out. Samoa Joe takes the microphone. Now we know from watching week to week that Samoa Joe, he's happy being the TV champion. He's happy being the king of television. But he also wants the AEW world title. He lost to a cheating, but still a good guy, MJF. He wants another shot. MJF does not want to give him another shot. I guess in character-wise, in order to motivate Joe, who seems to need no extra motivation, he has decided that he wasn't hungry enough, even though he clearly is, and so he has given up. After defeating Keith Lee, he has decided he does not want that belt anymore. That sucks for numerous reasons. 1, why have a match? 2, why win that match? 3, why beat a guy like Keith Lee? 4, why beat a guy like Keith Lee on his fucking birthday? Yesterday was Keith Lee's birthday. Congratulations, Keith Lee. You got a title match. And the guy who beat you to retain his title doesn't want the belt anymore. Just have him fucking lose to Keith Lee. Just have him lose to Keith Lee. It doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense. It says this belt isn't worth defending. It says title reigns with this belt, being the longest champion doesn't mean anything. You don't want Joe to lose, I guess, but then you had him lose to MJF. Here's an idea. Have MJF come out to distract Joe, because he's fucking pissed about dodging Joe all the time. MJF comes out to distract Joe, and Keith Lee gets a surprise win. And Joe doesn't even want a rematch because he's so fucking pissed at MJF. I don't fucking know. MJF thinks, you're messing with me, I'll mess with you. You messing with my title, I mess with your title. Like, fine. Easy enough to understand. But instead, you just have him give up the belt, and it sucks. There's no upside. Joe looks like Joe doesn't look better or worse than he did. You can't fuck up Joe too much, but it does make him look foolish, because when he doesn't win that belt, he will have no belts. So that's a weird thing. It's just a weird choice. And then it also makes the Ring of Honor TV title seem worthless, like something not worth fighting for. Very strange. Very odd choices. Again, otherwise, great matches. Great matches all around. Yeah. Fun, top to bottom. Excellent work in the ring. Good setups. Some good promos. I'll say this. We'll talk about it more when we get towards it. I really, really, really don't want to see Orange Cassidy lose to Jon Moxley again. I think it's coming. I think he's going to lose Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley's just going to win back the belt that he had to lose due to injury. But it would be fucking rad as hell if Orange Cassidy retained the title and beat him. I don't think that's going to happen, but it would be cool. And we got some promos, and it seemed all right. That's going to be okay. There's some promos. We're going to get Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho versus Matt and Nick Jackson at the pay-per-view. And I guess The Bucks are heels because they don't trust Chris Jericho, and they're mad at Kenny for partnering with Chris Jericho. And I think the Bucks are supposed to be the bad guys, and we're supposed to be mad at the Bucks for this. But they're right, and I don't feel like they're right in a heel way. They're just right. Like in a, oh, well, it's the way they say it. It's like, nah, fuck that. No. It's Chris Jericho. It's like Chris Jericho in AEW right now is a babyface because he was a heel and he considered partnering with a group of heels, and those group of heels decided they didn't want him to partner with them. They were like, no, instead we're going to beat you up. And so he's a babyface because another group of heels doesn't like him. And it's just like, okay, yeah. It's like, no, you shouldn't trust them. Shouldn't trust them at all. All right, so this is going to go in here. We're working on the chest of this kit. This looks like that. Or no. Oh, it goes like this. Okay. Gotcha. That makes a lot more sense. Great. And then this goes in here. Okay. We're building the chest from the back, and that's why I was very confused. I was like, this doesn't seem to make any sense, because I was like, why would the head go why would the neck go like this? Because this is the back of it, and this is the front. That makes way more sense. Ooh, cool. All right. Okay. Let's see. What else can we talk about here? Oh, yeah, there was another squash match. The Bollywood Boys just got absolutely destroyed by the Guns. AEW loves tag teams of brothers and one tag team of sisters, but they love tag teams of brothers. And Mark Briscoe versus Jay White just fucking whipped ass. It was very good. We should we've talked about strikes before. We've talked about solidarity with strikes. We talked many times about the Writers Guild. We of course have also talked about SAG-AFTRA's struggles and fights. So we should 100% unequivocally congratulate the members of SAG-AFTRA. Gotta say, MJF hinting at his contract end date again. Just maybe wish he could go now. I love all this. I understand the bidding war of 2024 does not appeal to people. The idea that somebody will be so open about saying, "Hey, you got to pay me a lot of money if you want me to stay." I understand that doesn't appeal to people. I still think it's good. I still think it's good storytelling. I love the idea of a champ that's like, "Yeah, I'll just leave, sure, because fuck it, who cares." It's like, whatever. I think that's great. I don't know. I'm still into it. But yeah, SAG-AFTRA news broke last night, but the news broke in various places that are still owned by the studios. So it was a little while before message got out there that we could definitely believe. And then an actual release came out from SAG-AFTRA. The actual moment to moment deal, the actual information that is there is not fully out right now. That will be coming out because the larger vote has to happen, but it is a tentative agreement. Basically as of 3 a.m. today, the strike is suspended and they closed locations. They have shared some information. Basically, again, they cannot go into absolute, complete, clear details of what's going on with this. Or we're going to go with the cool looking one. We're not going to go with just the black. We're going to go the vibrant one here. They have not been able to share all those details. Those will be in soon because there still is the ratifying process and all of that. But once again, it seems like despite the last and best offer coming in from the studios that they still had to negotiate further, sounds like this is a good one. This sounds like they got what they wanted. And they got, they made it happen. Collective bargaining works. Strikes work. It fucking rules. Congratulations to the many folks from SAG-AFTRA that picketed for many, many days, 100-something days. It fucking kicks ass. Let me see. I have more of this I have to find here. Where is it? So let's see. I gotta go to. Let's see. SAG-AFTRA. I had one of the. I apparently did not save the other photos here. So SAG-AFTRA, great. But yeah, strike is over. Which rules. Let's see here. They're basically going to be in touch. Contract valued over $1 billion. They say they have achieved a deal of extraordinary scope that includes above pattern minimum compensation increases, unprecedented provisions for consent and compensation that will protect members from the threat of AI. Basically, like, the language is going to have to be very clear and the compensation is going to have to exist, and the just doing things because you were in the studio, you signed a contract so we can use you for AI, is not just going to be part of it, which is great. Streaming participation bonus is unbelievably awesome. It is basically saying, and of course, this is conjecture based on previous negotiations and things like that and what people have seen, but it sounds like what this is saying, what this is going to say is basically, hey, if your show is a huge success on streaming platforms, you benefit from that, which you didn't before. And then WB celebrated by canceling a movie as a tax write-off. Yes. Canceling movies is still... Canceling movies, you could argue, would have made some money, but maybe not enough money, is still a thing that they're going to still do. They still can just do that. Yes. Because then they don't have to pay bonuses. They don't have to pay marketing. And yeah. And that's still going to happen. It's still going to happen. Pension and health caps have been raised. Also, that movie would have gotten canceled if they hadn't reached a deal, or if they had. There was not a world where the WB is just going to put out things that are interesting, because they have fucked themselves over in so many different ways, in so many different avenues, that of course they're going to do the complete nonsense solutions that are quote unquote groundbreaking. Clearly aren't. That's the fucking style. All right, we got some more clear parts, and we got one more cool part to put on here. Pension and health caps have been raised, which is fantastic. And a bunch of improvements in outsized compensation for background performers. And yeah, it just seems like overall pretty fucking rad. It's great. We'll hear more as more details come in. But yeah, it's good news. It's awesome. And then, if you hadn't known that this was going down, you may have found out. Like, if you didn't, you're like, oh, this happened last night. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't know. You probably knew by the fact that suddenly a bunch of movies were just like, all of a sudden, press stuff was happening about movies. Like, it's just all of a sudden, people are talking about movies like that weren't talking about movies before. People are just promoting shit that they couldn't promote before. Everything from like Mel Brooks has a documentary series thing, and like movies and TV shows, and a bunch of stuff is just like out and happening. And there were some things that were hitting press. It's funny. A friend of mine postulated, he was like, ooh, they're going to have to increase stuff for the A24. A24, they could promote their movies because they made a deal with SAG-AFTRA already. They made a deal with the Writers Guild really early on. They made a deal with SAG-AFTRA before anyone else did, because they wanted to get their movies out there. So we put the sticker on, which we didn't have to, I realize now, because we're going to put this piece on But that's okay, because it looks fucking rad. So we didn't need to do that. We didn't need to put that sticker on. Now we just have double stickers. I think it'll be okay. That's going to go in there, and then the chest piece will lock this in place, because right now this is flopping all over the place. It's just falling off, but it'll look good once we clamp the piece down. That'll look good. We could put a clear piece on. We might as well use the very nice piece that comes with it. But yeah, bunch of cool shit. And then we'll see some animation guild stuff happening in the next year as we get closer to their contracts coming up. And Teamsters will be hopefully not in the picket line, possibly in the picket line. Hopefully they can get a deal coming up. But movies and TV are back, baby. It happened. Did it need to take this long? Of course not. Of course it did take this long, and it certainly didn't need to. But congratulations to everybody out there. I got a bunch of friends that can hopefully get back to some sort of work, and people that'll hopefully get hired on a few things, and, you know, make cool shit. And, of course, promote the cool shit that they've been making, or they had made previously, that is now coming out. And it's very cool. Let's see. And okay, we're done with the chest here. Is this yes, we have finished the chest. It's time to panel line this chest. Let's see. Let's take a look at. Oh, sorry about that. Let's see. Then here, we're going to panel line this chest piece here. It's looking real good. So we're gonna do that. Let's see. Any game? I'm looking for gaming news. Chucky is in Dead by Daylight now. It's one of those things where you're like, yeah, you know what? Sure, I don't fucking know. I don't play Dead by Daylight. Maybe this whips ass. Maybe this is just like what people have been looking for. I don't know. I do like the idea of a small, fast character, you know, that's in Dead by Daylight. I don't know. I think that's neat. It being Chucky doesn't really do much for me, but sure. Did we learn nothing from that alien in Perfect Dark? No. We didn't. We never learned anything, Lashbrook. Aggression says, is it game breaking like Yoda in Soul Calibur 4? I have no idea. I do not know. The only person I know that has anything to do with Dead by Daylight works for the company that makes it. And I bet, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, Eric Pope, probably not going to tweet about how this fucking Chucky is shit in the bed. So I don't think I'll know. I'm pretty sure Pope is not going to be like, this sucks, everybody. I'm sorry. He's mostly like, hey, check out the latest updates to the games we've made. We're doing cool shit over here. This is, of course, how I learned about it was Eric Pope's Twitter. And when I say that, I'm not trying to take a dig at Eric. I love Pope. I love that man. But he, you know, he's working a job. He's doing his job at the job that he works at. So, you know, no feeling on that. It'll be hard to see that little shit in the dark levels, which maybe is a nice change of pace for the game. Okay, yeah. I mean, that bright red hair, maybe, yeah, we won't be able to see it. And then that led to this Kotaku article is basically like, could you fight Chucky? Which I think is very funny. The Goof Cat just raided. Thank you very much, the Goof Cat. Welcome, raiders, to the Build With Baer Workshop. I'm going to go to this screen here so I can say hello to y'all. Hi, raiders. I'm Pat Baer. I build model kits and Lego sets. We talk about video games and anime and wrestling. Lord Crashington, or sorry, Dirty. It's usually you, Lord Crashington. Dirty's here. Hey, Dirty, and Dirty wants me to hit the dance button. People use channel points to make me do things like dancing, like I'm gonna do right now. And I'm just dancing. I don't dance that often, but then sometimes people do want me to dance with the music that will not get me demonetized. That sounds like I was about to work on some sort of conversion of my van into a house, a tiny home. That's the music that plays there. I should see if that game still has a Silent Hill DLC available, guaranteed to be better than playing the Silent Hill 2 remake. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not a Silent Hill guy because I'm not a horror guy. That's not my bag. That's not my style. That's not my thing. And I'm not big on horror games, right? I do want Silent Hill games to be good, right? Because there's a fan base. There is a vocal, speaks with their dollar, supports a series they've grown up loving, fan base for it. And I would like that fan base to have good video games in the franchise they like. Solius, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that. Yeah, folks, if you want to hit the old follow button, you're more than welcome to. That way you know when I go live. I build model kits Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. And then on Tuesday, I do something that is not model kit related. It's usually video games, but occasionally it's something else. But yeah, I want the Silent Hill games to be good because I want Silent Hill fans to have a good video game. I think that's, I think that's reasonable to want. I don't know. I think to me anyway, I'm like, yeah. If you want to, if you're making cool shit, I want people to be able to play those games if they like those series and they have a good time playing those things. I want those to be good for those franchises. It's like, I don't know. And that seems to be a series. Silent Hill seems to be a series where people are just like almost defeated. Like there's a defeatist attitude where they're like, well, we're not going to get anything good. Why would it be a good video? Why would Konami want us to have a good thing? And it's just like, oh, that sucks. It's probably true, and it also sucks. I guess we're going to build an arm here on the Calibarn because we did the head and we did the chest. Now we'll work on the arm. That's kind of what we're doing here. Do we have more stickers? We do have more stickers. I shouldn't complain too much. The last kit that I built had 2 stickers, and this has a lot more than that. This has quite a bit more than that. But some of these stickers we won't use. We're not using this. Oh, shoot. I've been talking on this screen. I got to go back to the overhead. Sorry about that, everybody. I did my intro and then jumped back. We used this sticker, so we're not going to use this one. We use this sticker, so we're not going to use this one. We don't use these 2 here. So like, even though there's a ton of stickers, we're going to use these stickers, so we won't use these stickers. So even though there's a ton of stickers on here, it's not that bad because we're not using every single one of them because there are a lot of options. So it's like, okay, that's fine. But yeah, this kit's looking good. And now we got to continue. Let's build a right arm. And we'll take a pause for the cause in a little bit. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel. And then we'll get back into building. And I'll probably, I got to promote myself, Got to tell the people what's going on and ways they can do all of those shenanigans. Because, I don't have sponsors. And model kits cost money. All right, let's see what else we got here. D18 and D7. D17, D18, great. 7, 8. Let's see. Is there anything else in gaming news? Hey, weirdly, this is a weird thing to say, friends. I can't believe it, what I'm about to tell you. Super Mario Bros. Wonder sold 4 million copies so far. That's a lot of Mario. But also when you think about it's a main Mario, it's a main franchise for Nintendo. They obviously promoted it heavily. People want new Nintendo games. If you were buying a Nintendo game for the Switch, you know that it's going to run pretty damn well. You've got a good opportunity to have something that kicks ass. It totally makes sense to me that people would want, that there'd be a strong desire for a kick-ass Nintendo game. Like, totally makes sense, right? Okay, so why is this not fitting in right? What am I doing wrong here? Okay, we go like that. There we go. Like that. And put this. This goes like that. Heck yeah. Look at me figuring out how this works. Like some kind of guy that knows stuff. Okay. It goes in like that. That's how it looks on the shoulder. Now we've got to apply some stickers to the side. And we have to choose. Are we doing 18 or 17 and then 19 or 17? I'm going to say that 17 is the boring colorway. And that, yes, 17, very boring. The other colors, vibrant and cool looking. 18 and 17, so that's 18 and 19. Yes, 18 and 19. Great. 18 goes here. Hell yeah. That does look real good. Lasper says, yeah, Android 16, 18 are cooler. Yes, Androids 16 and 18 are cooler than Android 17. That's pretty accurate. Yeah, you're not wrong. Android 16 has a mohawk. Case closed. You got a mohawk? Instantly cool. Instantly cooler than any Android that doesn't have a mohawk. All right. And great. Okay. We have gotten some of this done. We'll add more parts to it. We got to add some clear pieces and make this look all pretty, which we will get to in a bit. Cooler is not cool, weirdly enough. Cooler, King Cold, Frieza. Frieza, it can get interesting. Cooler is not cool. King Cold, not that great. Now's the part of the stream, folks, where I'm going to talk to you about ways that's right, you can support what I do here. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber to the old Build With Baer Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here financially through your cash money or your Prime Gaming tokens. Bits and coins, always appreciated. Also, if you wanted to gift a sub into the community, you can help me get to the 50 subscriber goal. We're always trying to get to 50. Also, you can, if you gifted 2 subs tonight, you would be eligible for 60 free days of Crunchyroll in their Mega Fan Premium. So that is a promotion that's happening right now, and you can get in on that promotion if you so desired. You don't have to. You don't have to do any of these things. But I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support what I do here, because the supporting me here supports me here. But I'll try to keep this brief and we'll get through it. I'll try to get through all this stuff and then get back to building. So subscribing here, gifting sub, using your Prime Gaming tokens, if you have Amazon Prime, link their Twitch. Those are all easy ways to benefit me out here. You get cool emotes. You don't see ads when you come in. It's neat. I got a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, a $3, a $5, and a $10 tier. And there are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. My $3, $5, and $10 patrons tomorrow are going to vote on what I play next Tuesday, because the second Tuesday of every month is Patreon's choice. So I put up 2 video games options for them, and a third one is just kind of a hangout, just chatting thing that I've been meaning to do for a while. And those are going to go up for my $3, $5, $10 patrons tomorrow, just as a kind of preview. Did you know that I have a YouTube channel where I upload videos It's true. That happens. I got that. And you could get in on it if you wanted to. Subscribe to my YouTube channel because that's free. And while you're there, while you're on my YouTube, if you wanted to, you could become a member. $2 a month. And for that membership, you get my my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. You get a day early. A little bit something there. Those are monthly ways to support me. If you just want to show your appreciation financially once in a while, you can do that through PayPal or Coffee or Stream Elements. Every donation is great there, and everything that comes in through direct donations, through YouTube, through Patreon, through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and with money from that fund, I buy model kits, and then I build those model kits. The Calibarn that I'm building right now, the Calibarn that you can see right here, I am building that because of past generosity from all of you. I was able to pick up this kit so that we can build it. I'm sorry, I just noticed something that I want to fix here. While I picked it up, and I'm fixing that. There we go. Great. And I have a backlog of kits that I'm going to be happy to build in the future, and then I'll be able to buy those kits because of your generosity. Now, the next kit I build most likely will be something that was purchased because it will be in the mail soon, should arrive in a couple days, and it'll be the next thing that I build. And I'll explain how that kit was purchased in just a moment. But yeah, anything bought through my various means and sent to me gets a dedicated video about the thing that was purchased and jumps the queue and becomes the next thing that I built. And the easiest way to do that is to buy something off my Amazon wish list. I've got Lego sets, I've got model kits, I've got inexpensive kits, I have expensive kits, stuff that never goes on sale, stuff that's like pretty reasonably priced. Like I talked about how I have Suletta over here. Mjorne is right there and $25 right now, which is a good price for that kit. But yeah, I got Lego sets, model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, very expensive, like just unbelievably expensive things. And you can find all that on my wish list. And then, yeah, you buy something, it jumps the queue, becomes the next thing that I built. I just noticed that the Ariel full mechanics has dropped in price some, which is nice. Still very expensive, but it's dropped in price. And I have some gear at the bottom because it's nice to have some gear options. That's always cool to see. My alternative to Amazon is Throne. Throne is a wish list, folks, and I really like them. I have a more curated list over there, but same principle. You buy something, it comes to me in the mail. I make a dedicated video for my YouTube channel, and then I build it ahead of everything else. The most convoluted way to support me and buy something for me to build is to buy something from USA Gundam Store, which Ghost Valve did. I got codes from Ghost Valve on Tuesday. You go to USA Gundam Store, you buy a gift card or gift cards. You get those gift cards in your email. Then you send me a DM on Twitter or a whisper on Twitch with the gift card code. And then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. You could make a suggestion like Ghost Valve did, because Ghost Valve was like, hey, you talked about the real grade Epion. Here's enough money to buy the real grade Epion. I bought the real grade Epion. It's coming to me in the mail. I'm going to build that kit. It's going to be a process because that's going to be a beautiful looking kit. I've heard good things about this build. Real grades always take a little bit of time, but are fucking worth it because they're just quality. And I'm very excited about that. And again, the most convoluted way to support me financially is to buy gift cards at a website and then DM me or send me a whisper. But that happened, which is great. If you want to support me for $0, you just want to hang out and send some messages here and there, I got a Discord. Check out that Discord link if you want. A couple of video links for you to check out on your own time. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I put up a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club that is out this week that I think is pretty great, and I would like you to check it out. I take a look at 4 anime series that you cannot stream legally. If you, after this stream, was like, I would like to watch the 1997 version of Berserk, because we talked about that earlier. You cannot. You cannot legally watch that version of Berserk online through any streaming service. So I talk about a couple that used to be available for streaming and now aren't, and I talk about a couple that never got released and why, and what lengths you might need to go to find those. I don't provide access to those. This is purely educational. This is not me, sending out links to things. And then Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series where every single week I write and perform a new piece of comedy that I have written myself and rehearsed some amount. It's barely rehearsed, but it is rehearsed. This particular video of Baerly Rehearsed is a return of Randy and his soapbox. One of my favorite reoccurring bits is Randy, the guy who tells it like it is and isn't afraid to be canceled for his not for his opinions that he believes very strongly that aren't really that ridiculous of opinions, and it won't get him canceled, but he thinks he's being edgy, but he's really just talking about cool shit that he thinks should happen. It's comedy. It's a comedy piece. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to talk to you about some anime that I have been watching. We'll do that in a second. I'm going to drink some water first, and then we're going to get back into working on the arm here. We're going to get finish getting this arm on, and then build some shoulders together here in just a second. And I'm going to drink some water and dramatically transition to the overhead camera right now. All right. Let's talk about some anime, everybody. Let's do this thing. I drank some water. We got ready to do the anime conversation. Here we go. So, I didn't watch this. I watched this episode of The Family Circumstances of the Irregular Witch on Sunday. But on Monday, we had a conversation that started up. So we didn't get a chance to talk about it. So now we'll talk about it here. E1 and E1. All right, great. So I'll just go over this episode. Most of this series so far has been like 2 stories in one episode. And like either like a main story and then like a little B story, like an A major, or just like 2 splits. This one was all one episode, one story, and was more world building that I was kind of into because it really wasn't about some shenanigans. Because most of this series is about a witch who adopts a young lady that she finds, and the witch loves her daughter, and the daughter loves her mother, and neither wants dudes around getting in the way of that. And it is a comedy and pretty fun. But we have Alyssa, the witch, and Viola, the human, who is also it's a weird thing where she's a human, but also knows magic. It seems to be doing just fine, but apparently witch is like it's more than a class. I don't know. It's a little confusing on that, but basically she's like ageless more so than regular humans. Alyssa and Viola are visited by Rose Whip. Rose Whip is a fairy. This is our first introduction to the fairy race in this anime. Rose Whip's like, hey, you gotta help me. My brother Meadow Sweep. So we got Rose Whip and Meadow Sweep. Meadow Sweep is just fucking around, and I need some help. Meadow Sweep is causing mischief, and they're not quite sure why. Meadow Sweep is has been messing about in the gardens. Arkham Lens, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Happy to have you here. Apparently, there's a noble woman named Anna, and the flowers in her garden have stopped growing. And then the witch is just like, hey, why though? What are you doing? And Meadow Sweep is like, okay, so Anna is about to get married to Torino. And I think that's a bad call. I think Torino is just trying to use Anna for her money. And I'm trying to stop the wedding, but I can't like talk to humans. And so this is my way of making it seem like there's bad omens and, that this wedding shouldn't happen. And so Viola spies on Torino because he seems like a playboy, like he's got a playboy vibe, like maybe he is using her. But upon investigation, he's actually like really sweet. And Meadow Sweet just misjudged him, like totally misjudged the situation. From outward appearances, just totally didn't get what was going on, and just like, come on, dude. So obviously not a great situation there. Um, and you're like, okay, well, you know what? You have to apologize to Anna, but Anna is a normal human. Anna doesn't know spirits are real, can't or fairies, can't even see these fairies. Uh, so the solution is, um, okay, so their phoenix that they treat like a pet, like a cat, is like, I mean, we can make a spell so you'll appear. We can just do that. We can do a spell to make you just visible to them. But then it turns out, here's a twist. Anna believes that her father's spirit lives in the garden. So she kind of misunderstands Meadowsweet as her father's spirit. And Meadowsweet doesn't want to ruin that by like revealing, it's like, oh, well, here's me. So he restores the flowers so that Anna kind of gets a sense like, oh, this is my father approving of this wedding, which is sweet. And then basically he's like, hey, thank you for letting go of this. Like, I shouldn't be doing this. I need to like let her even like let her make her own mistakes, which is nice. And so it's a little bittersweet. And then Alyssa kind of has a moment where she's just like kind of coming to the realization, like she's known this, but she's certainly more like in the same way that Meadowsweet kind of has to let Anna go. Someday Alyssa will have to let Viola go because she will outlive the girl that she's raising as her daughter. And this show is funny in a lot of ways. It is silly. It is ridiculous in many scenarios. This is the first time that the show has been bittersweet or even a little sad. And I was unprepared for that. I'm not against those vibes, but I was not prepared for those vibes. So it was a nice little change of pace from an otherwise usually pretty spotless, like silly, like some of the jokes don't land in the show. Because there's like one of Alyssa's sisters, like her big joke, the big gag is that she has like a quote unquote reverse harem, like a masochist harem, and that is supposed to be funny, but it's not played for laughs. It's just presented as a funny scenario, and it's like, oh, okay. But this one is certainly, more grounded of a thing. And I thought a fucking solid episode of a pretty decent show. A show that like I might forget when it comes to like me thinking about like my favorite shows of this season. But overall, pretty great. In what feels like homework, let's see, sorry. Okay. All right. Okay, sorry. I just got an email. Okay, everything's fine. Everything's good. Fine email. Helck. A show that I really loved last season as it started, and then as the show has continued, I understand why it got a... I understand if you're going to make Helck into an anime. Oh, we dropped some more frames there. My apologies, friends. I can't do anything about it, but we did drop more frames. So, yeah, sorry about that. As Helck is continued, I have liked it a bit less. I understand why you would have to do this as a 2-core, because so much of this series is flashback explaining the behavior of the main character, and we are not done with the flashbacks. This feels like it is at least leading up. The next episode should theoretically end the flashbacks, It might even be the end of the flashback, but it feels, this is episode 18. At this point, I'm pot committed. Actually, let me see. How many episodes are in Helck? I actually want to know right now. I'm going to go to Annie Chart and look up Helck and see. Oops. Helck. Nope. What? Come on. Airing. Helck. There it goes. Tell me stuff about Helck. How many episodes are going to be Helck? Okay. Ooh, we are dropping even more frames. My apologies again. God damn it. 24 episodes. Okay. Folks that are watching the YouTube video, of course, don't have this problem. Again, we had a few days where things were looking good, and it is a real shame that we are having technical problems, but it looks like we're back again. So there's 24 episodes in Helck. This was episode 18. At this point, I am pot committed. Right down to the fact that I should have just stopped watching it a few episodes ago, but now I want to see the end. A show that started with a very silly premise. Rio Starwind just raided with a party of 3. Welcome, Rio Starwind. Welcome, Raiders. Tonight, we have had 3 raids, and we are, of course, dropping frames once again. So my apologies. You are coming into a stream that has been negatively affected. Oh, we're back again. Great. It's one of those things where, like, 2% of frames in the last hour and a half are fine, but are affected, but it still adds up and becomes a annoying thing. But welcome, Raiders. Happy to have you here. I'm Pat Baer. I build model kits and Lego sets, and we talk about a bunch of stuff. We're talking about anime right now. We're talking about an anime called Helck. We are in episode 18, and again, a good chunk of this series has been like kind of drawn out good, but like a backstory of this. A show that had a premise that was very fun to follow along, very fun, silly premise of our main character just wanted to join in with the demons in order to destroy humanity. And he wanted to, he joined a contest to be named the next demon lord to fulfill that decision. And you're like, okay, why? And now, unfortunately, I wondered why, and now I am learning why, and it is all very sad episodes explaining it, including episode 18. Rio Starwind says, hi, been a while since I stopped by. Glad the Gundam building is going well. Yeah, we started a new kit. We ran into some issues with putting the head together. I figured it out. It's just this kit has layering that was weird to me, but it is turning out pretty good. It looks fucking great. It looks fantastic. It just was a little confusing. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Anyway, I gave a long preamble about this show, so I should probably like at least talk a bit about it. Let's see. That goes like that. That goes like that. Okay. Yeah. Arm goes like, let's just see. Sorry, just going to make sure I'm doing that right, and then I'm doing that right. Yes, this looks accurate. Okay, great. You never know. And again, if I fuck up, I'll take it apart, and I'll figure out what's going wrong with it. But let me actually now, finally, as I said, such a long preamble. Let's see. Okay. So episode 18 of Helck season 1, because again, who knows if there'll be more of it, but right now that's where we're at. Okay, so I need D239 and D240, and there will be a sticker. Of course, there's a sticker. Let's see. Okay, right, here we go. Now I can get back into it. Finally, I can tell you about this series. Helck's brother died after being turned into an awakened, which was to draw out the essence, but under the control of the king. And Helck is like fucking pissed off about this. Helck manages to escape, but at the cost of his allies who have been captured and are going to be executed. Um, Helck is fighting his way to the execution site, defeating a bunch of troops, and then Alicia, who he's been a great supporter of his, who has helped fight these monsters and help this kingdom, is being ridiculed by the citizens who, they're just like, oh, look at this treacherous person. Are they fully under the control of the king? Are they just going along with the king's evil whims? We don't know. Have they been manipulated, or are they just shitty, ungrateful people? We're not quite sure which way it's going. Other than I'm dropping frames again, which is great. Just connection issues abound. So we'll just press on. Helck shows up. Everyone's freaked out. Helck just like tosses a person away that was like in his way. And he's like, hey, Alicia, come with me. We're going to escape. I believe this demon that I met, that the actual demons are not the evil people that have been presented by the king. And I think that's the place we should go. An ad break started. Hilarious that an ad break started because I did not run pre-roll ads. So now we have an ad break. What a fucking great night. Jesus Christ. Let's see. Alicia says she's willing to go with him. Okay, this is just not connecting right. Going that? Yeah, it goes that way. Okay, great. Alicia's like, yeah, all right. I believe you. But then Rafi, the guy that was behind this big program, the closest thing this show has a big bad outside of the king, is like, it was a mistake to come back here because a bunch of these commoners are going to awaken, and the nobility is going to awaken, and also your friend Alicia is going to awaken and will be a soldier under my control. Ha 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 ha. Helck doesn't understand why Alicia got affected by the awakening, and it turns out the snow that is in this nation is a poison. It is a convoluted thing that didn't quite make sense. And Rafid says escaping the snow is meaningless, and everyone's going to awaken and be reborn as living soldiers. And Alicia's is like, hey, could you kill me before I become this thing? And Helck can't do that. And the episode ends with her basically like asking him to smile one more time, and she's going to awaken into a living soldier. And maybe in the next episode, we will finish this fucking flashback. Again, I think Helck is well animated. It is well voiced. It is an interesting story, but it feels like I was sold a bill of goods. I was sold a kind of goofy hero. The idea of a human wanting to help out the demons was an interesting idea, and then it is fleshed out to be a pretty fucking sad story about a guy who was just trying to live and do the right thing, and how he worked for the bad guys, and in brutal fashion it is just completely compounded on you that like, yeah, these people are evil. The turns out the demons were not bad this whole time. And yeah, like the humor has been gone from the show for like 6 episodes, and it's weird. It's a weird thing. But I still, again, I kind of like it. A show that does still keep its humor is Bullbuster. So Bullbuster is the mech series this season. There's a new mech series out there. If you haven't checked it out, it is a mix of digital and CG, the CG mechs and the digital people. It works for the most part. It is pretty good. It is at least fun, and it is, again, I've talked about this before. One of the things I like about this show is that, yes, it is about an island where there are monsters, and there is a company that has made or using machines that are kind of mechs, that are like based on construction equipment, but now also mechs, to destroy these monsters in an attempt to take back the island for the residents that want to return. And it is that. And so it's action, it's fighting monsters with machines. But also, it's like a workplace situation comedy because they are just like a struggling small business trying to make it. We found out last episode, we believe the monsters, that one of the monsters used to be a dog that somebody owned, Sheena or Shiro. And they captured Shiro, and this bio lab is doing tests. And they're like, yep, okay, so the monsters used to be animals native to the island. And they mutated, but we don't know how. And they're like, we can't do any more research unless you pay us, because they're also a business. Is there an anime more in love with themed naming conventions than Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z? Lord Crashington, I'm not going to answer that question. The answer is, yeah, no, I'm just not going to answer that question. Thank you for asking questions. It is unrelated to what I am talking about, and so I'm not gonna humor you. Right now, anyway. Maybe I will at some point. So basically, they're like, yeah, you got to pay because they're also a small business just trying to make it. Meanwhile, the head of the small company, Namidome Industries, is like, hey, we're going to take an intern because Muto needs to heal their injuries. So when Muto heals up, we're going to get this intern. And they came from a prestigious college. And so, of course, our boy Okino, our main character, is jealous of this college kid that's coming in because they didn't get to go to a prestigious school, but they're still doing all right. You know, the usual. And then a scientist from Shioda is like, hey, I've been studying Shiro in my own time, and here's something I found out. There's algae. There's algae on this in the animal, and maybe the lake. The island has a lake in the middle of it. Maybe the lake is the reason that these giant beasts have happened. So they're like, all right, well, you know, we're doing some hypothesis testing now. So we got to go test our hypothesis. So they get a lab rat or lab mouse, and they're going to release the lab mouse and try to track it. They put a tracker in it. They want to see if this mouse, you know, is going to mutate, if that's the possibility. And then they head to the lake to see what's going on. Bullbuster gets stuck, and it looks like it's going to run out of power. So we have our only, for this episode, kind of drama. Our main vehicle is in trouble in the lake, gets stuck, but then our guy Okino uses some trees to brace himself so he can get free. And then Okino kind of jumps into the interns meeting. But here's the thing, friends. Because he's covered in mud, the intern, or the person applying to be an intern, thinks that he's a sewer worker. He's like doing construction or sewage work. Because why would he be, an employee of the company and a pilot if he was covered in mud? So now we're going to have some, we're going to increase the stakes. The stakes where they have to defeat giant monsters so that people can move back into their community. They have decided to raise the stakes by making it a new kid in town dealing with the guy who is also new. I should stress, Okino is a guy that has not. He arrived during episode 1 as a salesman who is now piloting the vehicle he helped design. So he's also still kind of the new guy. I thought that was pretty fun. What I want to hear from you, friends, in the last bits of the stream tonight, I would like to hear from you. What are you watching right now? What are you playing right now? If there's anything that's got you going, anything you're interested in, I would love to hear from you about what you're playing. I finished Alan Wake 2, everybody. I don't always finish video games these days, but I did complete Alan Wake 2, and I can tell you, without spoilers, that I think Alan Wake 2 is good. You heard it here first, folks. Alan Wake 2, a fucking good video game. I am preparing myself for the expansion, for the next Hearthstone expansion next week. Getting stuff ready, just trying to get as many quests done as possible so that I have some coin, so that I can purchase card packs with those coins and not spend real fucking money, because I would prefer not to spend real money. So I'm getting ready for that. Anything else that I'm doing while I wait to see if folks want to add some stuff into chat? I've been playing that and watching a bunch of anime. I've got caught up. Ancient Magus Bride Season 2 Part 2 is getting fucking like deep, and a lot is happening there. Shit is getting like disarming, and characters that seem to be doing okay are maybe not going to be doing okay. Seems like it might be a bad time for the fine folks in that series. The undercurrent that things could just go bad and get weird in that show is continuing, and so I do look forward to checking out more with that show, because I really do like it. But I was behind. I was definitely behind on that particular series, and now I have gotten a chance to get caught up. So that's been really good to watch. I still have a few other things. I might go back and watch MF Ghost. I am hearing not so great things. I think the racing sounds pretty good, but it feels like maybe they are trying to say something about, like, they're trying to have their cake and eat it too in that series when it comes to the storyline about the high school girl who works as a flag girl and racing girls and what that means and consent and all kinds of stuff, but also just ogling her incessantly. And so they're trying to say something about that situation, but also benefit from fan service. And that's a bummer, but that seems to be what's going on there. Again, I'm not caught up on the show, but I was kind of bummed to hear that. To answer Lord Crashington's question earlier, Lord Crashington asked if there any anime more in love with themed naming conventions than Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and the answer is yeah, dude. A lot of shows come up with in-gag naming conventions. One Piece. When you get to Whole Cake Island, if you ever get to Whole Cake Island in One Piece, every fucking kid, every fucking relative of Big Mom, all Big Mom's kids have themed ass names. They go real deep into themed names in that show, which makes sense for the actual series, but yeah, I mean, yes, naming people vegetables and food and going down that road is certainly, they certainly keep up with it. Toriyama keeps up with the premise and doesn't really break from it, but he's not alone in doing that. Lashbrook picked up One Piece back up, and you're in Fishman Island, and Sanji sucks so bad. Dude belongs to the dumpster. Yeah, Sanji goes through periods of being kick-ass and very cool, and then also being a dumpster fire and someone that should be abandoned for being a fucking creep. And it's very funny because every time he slips back into being shitty, people are like, what's happening with Sanji? Like, the Sanji fan base goes out of their way to forget every time that he sucks because he will go on periods. There will be periods in the future where he whips ass and is cool as hell. But then he also reverts back to being garbage, and then fucking fans are like, "Oh, this character, like, like people that forget that One Piece is fun and funny, because it is badass, but it is a fun adventure that can be badass, not a badass series that sometimes is silly. It's supposed to be silly and goofy, and there's parts of the fan base that just don't understand that, or deny that themselves, which has always been weird. It's always been a strange thing with that particular, with One Piece fans, the fandom at large. But also, yeah, Sanji, Sanji is very cool, except when he absolutely 100% is not. And then he sucks. Lord Crashington apparently posted a thing in the Discord about Gundam F1 partnership with the Japanese driver in the grid, which includes a special Gunpla that's not for sale to the public. Okay, after the stream, I will look. I'll say this, Lord Crashington, I feels like it might feel like I'm coming harsh on you, but I will say, you are not the only person to post things in the Discord while the stream is happening. And I don't understand that. Like, obviously, the Discord is not just for me. My Discord is for anybody that wants to join it. I put a link in every stream with the invitation. People can join the Discord and hang out and talk about stuff. But it is also the Discord for my streams, and it always feels weird when I finish up a stream and someone is posted in the Discord during the stream because I don't look at it then. It's like the weirdest time. I look at that place constantly. I am always checking when I get a notification that there's an update in the Discord. I'm there taking a look at it. And it's always weird to me when updates happen while I am doing this and not looking at Discord. It's always a very strange thing, and I did want to say that since you mentioned that you posted there. Because it's like the 2 hours of the day where I don't look at it is when people post sometimes. I will look at that later. But also I don't care about F1 at all, so I don't know how much I'll actually... I might just be like, okay, I don't know how much I'll say about it. Because it is, yeah. Hey, here's the thing. There are a lot of Gundam and Gunpla promotional tie-ins we'll never see. Because they are Japanese promotion things. They are not for the world. They are for Japan, or sometimes they are for Korea, because there is a Gundam store in Korea that does unique, cool shit. We don't really get those. It's a good color scheme, says Lashberg. Cool. That's also one of those things where I'm like, well, I'm never going to build that. So it's like, okay, I don't know. Ghost Valve has a crew playing Payday 3. You just finished the aerial rebuild. Hell yeah. You're going to a Magic pre-release this weekend. Nice. I didn't tune in for Loading Ready Run's pre-release much. I saw a little bit of it. I don't keep up with Magic the Gathering as much as I used to. Even though I don't play it anymore, I used to keep up with it because I haven't really played since I think I finally stopped in the early 2000s. I stopped going to play. And then I was a little bit interested in Magic Online, but I didn't get too much into it, which is for the best. But yeah, I've mostly kept out of that fandom, but I keep my eyes peeled. I will say, I'm probably going to buy some singles when the Fallout set comes out. I'm probably going to buy some, because I really like a lot of Fallout. There's some Fallout New Vegas cards that look really good. There's a dog meat, like, I'm going to try to get some. I'm going to reach out to some friends that get lots of cards and have lots of extras and be like, hey, here are the Fallout cards I would like. Keep an eye out. Because I have some friends at some shops here and there. So I'm probably going to go in a little hard on trying to get some of those cards. Because they look fucking good. They look just real good. And I'm a bit of a sucker for that. So, I don't know. Same way, I have a friend that has the Doctor Who cards. Just has lots of the Doctor Who cards because that's a fandom that they are super invested in. Those are cards that they wanted to have, even if they don't really play Magic. They just wanted some cool cards. Lord Crashin has reached the end of the dubbed episodes of My Hero Academia, which seems to be the end of this big conflict, I guess. Some wild stuff, and I'm curious where it goes from here. Seems like they'll have more episodes on 20th. Yeah, I don't pay attention to that series dub. I know that it's by all regards a solid dub. I just don't keep up with it because I don't keep up with dubs of shows that I watch the subtitle version of. Just, but I have heard good things about that dub, and yeah, I'm sure you'll get more episodes soon. Yeah, I mean, My Hero Academia just fucking whips ass. And there's, like I said, the dub has a good cast. I just don't quite pay attention to it because that's not a series that I watch the dub of. I haven't had a dub series in a while. I haven't had a series that I watch in dubs instead of subs in quite a bit. I watched a little bit of the pirate series that was airing on Adult Swim as it was airing. The Japanese version was airing. Fina, Pirate Princess, something like that. I was watching a little bit of that dub because I happened to be in front of a television, and so I was watching a little bit of that. But I didn't continue to watch it in dub. I also didn't continue to watch the sub either. I just decided that I was good with that series, that I had watched a bit of it. I watched enough of it that I was like, okay, that's pretty all right. I'm good. I learned from his Twitter that Kyle Herbert is Fat Gum, which I didn't pick up on like All Might as Christopher Sabat. I mean, Christopher Sabat is all. I love there's a couple things I want to say about that. One is, yeah, you can tell. Oh, you know who that is. When you hear All Might, you're like, I know this voice actor. But also, it's so fun. This guy who has made a career for himself doing a variety of voices, but clearly his work in Dragon Ball Z stands apart from other works that he has done. Having this like another generation of young people who are dub watchers that think of him as the voice of All Might is such a fun new thing for him. A different thing to have like a different generation of anime fans associate him with a character as like, that's the thing we know him as. And then maybe we'll hear him in other things and go, wait, that's All Might. All Might's also in this? Like, that is very fun to think instead of being like, I know this fucking dude. I know this fucking voice. I've known this voice for 20 years. I know what's up right now. But like, or like Zeno, like I know Zeno's voice wherever he shows up because it's fucking that dude. It's that dude. Sungwon. Sungwon is that deep. Sungwon does different voices. Any deep voice, you know who he is, and his high register voice, I've also started to pick up. Like he's the Cat King in Radiant. And he does a higher voice for that. And I'm like, I know this dude. I know him. He's also like, I think he's the king in he's done some higher pitched voices, but I'm like, I know it's Sungwon Cho. I know that voice. When he shows up, I'm like, I know what I'm listening to right now. Anyway, 1.7% of all my frames tonight dropped, which is not a lot. 1% is still higher than I would like because it's not 0%. But it's not as bad as I thought we might have tonight. Again, my deep, honest, genuine apologies for that. I am in the slow process of figuring out how to try to fix that, how to mitigate that. I don't have a solution for you right now. I am investigating possible solutions that would allow me to stream in a way that where I don't drop frames. That is not going to be something that gets fixed by Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, which is my next stream, where we will continue to work on this fantastic model kit. We are going to end this stream with a raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go hang out with some people who are doing cool shit out there. I encourage you to come along on this stream. You don't have to, but we got raided 3 times tonight. So thank you to the Goof Cat, and thank you to Rio Starwind, and thank you to Bad Gunbull for the raids. Really appreciate it. And let's get into let's go on a raid. Let's go find somebody doing cool shit that we want to go hang out with. I'm not sure who we're gonna go raid, but we'll go see what people are up to. Who's doing things and things? I bet Puppet Jared is he's been going, I think, for 3 hours. He's probably wrapping up. So we're not going to go raid Jared. P2 is online. My friend P2 is playing Alan Wake 2. P2 playing Alan Wake 2. So let's go hang out. He's got a heart monitor, which is a fun bit of business. I just played the game. I didn't stream it. I probably won't. But yeah, we'll go raid P2. Lovely community over there. And again, doing the heart monitor gimmick, which is fun as the play some Alan Wake 2. So thanks to everybody for coming out. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I hope you come along on this raid. Thank you, Rosette Bloodthorn VT, for the follow. Appreciate that. Come along on this raid. I'll see you on Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Continuing to work on this model kit. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.